Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to the Daily Scuttlebutt with Ivy's Family Factotum. Where's like a balmy 53 degrees outside. Probably feels a little colder than that with the wind. But we got rain today. Veterans Day. So happy Veterans Day to all my brothers and sisters and Gladys's brothers and sisters out there. Hope you guys have a great day wherever you're at. Go out, try to get some of that free food. Just the appreciation. I know that there was supposed to be some type of thing going on here where we are at. It was supposed to be some type of outside event and rain. Yeah, that's what happens. It's Arkansas. That's really all you can say. But still, so my first cup of coffee. I don't know. I'm only about here. so got the good old morning hair. Girls just got off to school. And it's Friday. It's Friday. So, pardon me. What happened with the video yesterday? Well, internet for whatever reason was just going slow. So, for those of you that are new to this channel or are coming in, our internet that we use is cell phone signal, and we do have one of those little Wi-Fi hotspots through Verizon. Our phones are through Verizon. I record most of my video from my phone because my phone can take up to 8K video, and there's a lot of things I can do with it. I already have it. You can see some of the quality that I get with my phone through my other videos on the main channel. And once it's rendered into high definition, right now I have it set to 4K because YouTube still doesn't support 8K. But it does great. The resolution on it is awesome. But anyway, the video last night, so we have a cell phone booster, which I have a video on that I can link up here, or I'll link down a video at the end of this video from our main channel, to where it's the Becky's cell phone booster, and without it, we cannot upload video. We can, but it takes like 3 days. So last night the signal was low, but it was still, I was able to get the video out yesterday. But once the video uploaded, it was longer than 15 minutes. Well, as a new channel, there's some steps that you have to do to verify your channel. And I completely forgot to do that because the main channel, I've had that for over 5 years. So there was just some steps that I forgot. And once it uploaded, it would not process because it was over the time limit for it to process, because I hadn't verified my cell phone number for this channel. Yeah, it was just things that happened. So I was able to go back in, verify all those things that I needed to do. That way I can post a video longer than 15 minutes. And I was also able to do some other things that I needed to get done. Obviously, once I reach 100 subs here, I can do a little bit more. Once you get 500 subs, you get community pay. Yeah, there's things that will come, as we get there. And eventually, hopefully monetization and all those things, right? But in due time. So we're not even monetized on the main channel either. So I re-uploaded the video, but by the time it processed and became live was after midnight. So you basically get 2 videos for today. Even though that video was for yesterday. But it is what it is. That's fine. I'm still going to post this to where you guys will be able to see it today, Friday, as long as the internet is working and doing well. But we will see. how it goes. So, what is some of the other big bean spillage type stuff for today? It's closing day. It's supposed to be closing day. We still have not heard from the title company. Our realtor did reach out to the title company, and it's probably not going to happen today. So, kind of disappointed. So first, we were supposed to close. Our first closing date was on Halloween Day. And it's like our most favorite, holiday. Because Gladys and I we're really big into the fall season, and obviously her being Mexican, that whole Day of the Dead type stuff. That she's really big into that. So Halloween, and I love crafting. I love making stuff. So there are some Halloween things that I want to do for making like my own costume, because I'm actually really big into, well, not really big, but I do love steampunk. That's actually one of my favorite things, and I want to start making steampunk stuff. And there's actually a costume that I want to make that's like a steampunk blacksmith per se. He's a traveling blacksmith, and I want to make that, and it's going to take a few months. But yeah, we were supposed to close. I know I just sometimes I go into left field, but the original closing date was supposed to have been on Halloween. Didn't happen. So then they said, okay, well, 2 weeks, because we're only waiting for a signature, one paper signature from the judge. We aren't, the seller is, right? But they've already submitted the paperwork. They submitted it 2 weeks ago, and they're just waiting on the judge to sign it. That way we can close, because the person that is selling the property technically did not have full rights to sell the property. Yeah. She does, but she didn't. So I'll go on, with this channel, kind of a little more in detail with that. So we didn't really talk about it on the main channel. We put in an offer back in Virginia on this property. We were going through a different company, a different loan company at that time, and they were also asking a lot more for the property than what we are paying. And when we went through that loan company told us that we just needed to pay off one credit card and that we'd be good to go. I'm like, okay. So at that time, we were not able to get the loan required because we had to pay off a bill. I'm like, cool, all right. Well, we already knew that once we sold the house in Virginia that we were going to pay off a few bills. That was already our plan. So we did that, and that bill that we paid off was a very large credit card. I mean, it was over $10,000. Okay. So that was paid off my truck. Did everything that we needed to do. We get here locally to Arkansas, go back to that same company, that the guy that we were dealing with, and we get there, and we had to completely redo the process, the entire loan process. We couldn't just go from where we had to resubmit every single bit of paperwork. He couldn't use the old one because it was already denied, I guess. So with that, we basically went through that, and it already kind of seemed shady, but we went through that, and then he kept telling us that the property wasn't going to appraise for what they were asking. I was like, okay, well, that's not neither you or I to say, it's on the appraiser. So that company used an in-house appraiser. That's what they do. We don't pay for it. The company pays for it. If it appraises, then we pay for it along with the loan process. I never heard of it like that before, ever. And apparently, and this guy was saying that, he already knew what it was going to appraise for before even looking at the property. I think, well, how are you going to know that if you don't even look at it? So apparently, a guy went and looked at the property. It didn't appraise. It appraised for exactly what the guy that we were working with said it was going to appraise for. So I'm pretty sure the guy just sat in his desk or sat at his office. Didn't even go to the property and look, because he didn't get permission from the seller to even go on the property, and it is locked, right? So for that, I don't think they went out there and looked at it. They just threw a number down based off of comps in the area, and just went with that. So we ended up going to a different loan company, and they used an outside appraiser, an outside source for the appraisal. Well, with that, we have to pay for that up front. So we've already paid for that, and we've already put down earnest money towards the property to let the seller know that, hey, we are interested. We are, not just, trying to pull your chain saying that, yeah, we want this, but no, we're going to back out. Yes, we want this, but no, we're going to back out. So anyway, with that, we put down the earnest money. We've already paid for the appraisal, but we put in an addendum that if it did not appraise for what they're wanting, that either one, we can back out of the contract and get our earnest money back, or two, we can come up with an agreement of, a different price. Is basically, as long as we can agree on a price of the property, that we're good with that, and that they can basically keep the earnest money. So it was only if we couldn't come up to an agreement that we would get our money back. So we came to an agreement of what it appraised at, actually lower. The agreement's actually lower than what it appraised at. Not by a lot, but a little bit. So going through. And then we get all the way almost to the day before. So we were supposed to close on a Monday, right? Because Halloween was a Monday, I think. Yeah. And it was the Friday beforehand that they pumped the brakes and said, we're not going to be able to close because of yada, yada, yada. And yada, yada, yada was the woman that's selling it is the daughter of her mom and dad. She's an only child, but it was the parents' property. The parents were divorced. The mom had basically signed over the property to the daughter, but since they were divorced, he still needed permission from the dad, because, if they were still married, it would have been fine because the father is deceased. So all they had to do is provide the death certificate to, the county, blah, 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 and that'd be fine as long as the mom would have still been married, right, as a widower. But since they were divorced, she can't just sign over the property to the daughter, because they don't know if the father put in like a will and testament, blah, 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 to go to somewhere else. But normally it's always going to go to the first, child, or if there's multiple children, right, they're going to try to figure out who it's going to go to. Normally it goes to the oldest. But she is an only child, so that wasn't going to be an issue, right? That was why it really only needed to have one paperwork, because they already had the death certificate from the father. She is the only child. The mother already signed over the property to her. And all they really needed was a paperwork signed from the judge stating that she is the only child. The father's deceased. They have the death certificate. The mother, with her name, had already signed it over to the daughter as well. Bada bing, bada boom, sign, carry on. We're in probate. That's what it's called. And probate, basically, they're going back through records and trying to figure out if the father has, basically giving the property to somebody else. That's basically what they're doing. So we're here waiting and waiting and waiting. And we already have money invested. We have earnest money invested. We already have the appraisal paid for. But yeah, it is. We're being patient. Where we are at currently, right, it could be a lot worse, because we could be. So my buddy's letting us stay here basically for free. We are working on projects around the property. We do help with electricity. We help pay for electricity. Water you don't have to pay for because it's the well, but we're kind of limited because right now, with so much dryness that's been going throughout everywhere, right, in the country, that the well was running dry. And the first time they'd ever seen that, and they've been on this property over 10 years. But the well was running dry. So we're kind of limited. We can only do like one load of laundry, and run like a dishwasher, and still be able to allow all four of us to take a shower. So, but it could be a lot worse, right? Yeah, it could be. But we were kind of excited, right? Because we're veterans. Since we couldn't close on our favorite holiday, we're like, oh, cool. We're both Navy veterans. I'm retired Navy. The missus is medically retired Navy. And we were kind of excited to be able to close on Veterans Day. Being a veteran, I thought that would have been kind of cool. But now we don't get to close on Veterans Day. Unless some magic happens that they give us a call up and say, hey, come on into the office so we can do this. But as of right now, we're not supposed to be closing today. But that's fine. We will get there. Like I said, we still got the plans to go down to Texas for the holidays, or at least for Thanksgiving, picking up another puppy. Some different things. Hopefully, it'd be nice if I had a truck. I might have to go get Mom's truck, because may or may not be grabbing a tractor. Maybe, I don't know. Or a side by side. Yeah, there's going to be some stuff that we're looking at getting, and just all in due time. But I mean, my father-in-law, he's good with that stuff. Of finding used equipment, finding used vehicles, fixing them up, because he's a mechanical genius. And but yeah, we will get there. But I definitely wanted to jump in here. Thank all of our veterans. Happy Veterans Day. We love you. And regardless, the biggest thing with that is, treat everybody basically the same. Army, Navy, Marines, even Space Force. Don't know anything about it. But regardless, we love you. We definitely cherish that you've decided to serve, and just enjoy your weekend. So, as we always say, my phone stopped recording, so obviously I had to go in and edit this one. But as I was saying, always thank a veteran at every chance you get, regardless, even if it's not Veterans Day. You see the old man wearing a hat, you see the old lady wearing a hat, brooch, whatever, go thank them. Right? It doesn't have to be Veterans Day. Just go thank them at any chance you can. All right, y'all. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.